Alright guys, welcome back to the channel once again, and in this video we're going to be talking about the workflow builder. So in the previous video we seen like how we can auto layout the nodes and edges over here, but in this video we're going to be discussing like how we can create the workflow, delete the edges, and also we can create the node. So all those things we're going to be looking over here, and there are a little bit enhancement I have done on the auto layouting part, so you're going to see some little bit more difference over here, and it's going to be looking little elegant in comparison to the last video. So all those things we're going to be exploring over here. And also one more thing, I'm not going to be writing the code into this video. I'm just going to be briefing you guys because I have already written a lot of code. It will be taking a lot of time to write the code on video, so that's why I just wrote it earlier. I'm going to be explaining you guys like how the things are working, like what are the functions and all those things we're going to be discussing. So let's get into this. Let's look at the implementation first, and after that we're going to be discussing the code. Okay, all right. So as you can see, my screen's already predefined data is loading over here, so you can see the four nodes, and it's a kind of tree-like structure over here, and also you can see the edges, and the add button is also showing over here. Okay, so I have added the buttons like labels we were discussing in the previous video. So the labels, I have added the like icon, and if you click on this, so it's going to delete the edge. So let's suppose if I click on this one, so it's going to be deleting, and also I can connect it back later over here. Okay, so this is going to be like this, and also like we have this add button. So if you click on this one, so it's going to be adding one more node, like one new node over here. Okay, like this. So you can add as long as like as much as nodes over here. Also, if you want to remove the connection from here, so you can remove in the middle of that, and also if you want to connect it over here, like from here to here, so it's gonna be connected. So you see like this, and if you move, connection is also moving from top to right, bottom, something like that. It works like that. Okay, so same applies for all as well. So you can just drag the connection, or you can just drag the node from one place to another place. So all those things over here. It looks like a small feature, but it's not that much small behind the scenes. So how like first implementation is that whenever you are just clicking on this node, so you have to create one element, and also you need to set the position top and left, right, bottom. All those positions should be perfect, so it should come underneath of this one. And also you should check like what is your end node and what is the source node and all those things. Okay, even if you're trying to delete the connection, so it should be deleted properly, so that suppose if you reload it, so it should come. So also I'm going to be showing you one more feature over here. It's like when you save the data and get it back again, so how it should be appearing on the screen. So it should appear in the elegant way. So that's also we're going to be discussing over here. So this is kind of looks a small feature, but it's not that small because I had to implement a lot of things, and once I'm going to be explaining you guys one by one, so you're going to be understanding. Let's look at that code first. All right, so I have opened the code and the screen side by side, as you can see. So here our like flow is loading over here. Okay, so let me just drag it through over here a little bit, so it will appear properly. Okay, like this, and this one as well. Oh no, we don't need to drag the connection. So something like this. Okay, so this is our flow. Okay, and this is our code base. So what I have done over here, so first let's discuss about this label one. So if you see a screen over here, so we written this code. So this is the index. I have moved the draggable box into the another file over here. So once I push this code, so you guys can find it out. So I have moved this code to over here because it was getting pretty lengthy, so I didn't want it to keep everything into the single file, so I just break it down and then move it to over here. So you can find the draggable box code over here, and it looks little like this. And after that, in the index.js, if you go over here, so you see find like labels. So if you see this custom label, so I have passed the label each and every line. Whenever you pass, like whenever you map the connections into the JS, like so every line will have kind of label, and that custom label code is written over here. So you pass the connection to like source ID and target ID, whatever the connection is. Okay, and inside that you just add the button like this. So this is the material UI I have padded like this, and inside that I just passed one function which is on click function. So when you click on the delete me button, so it's gonna be deleting that connections. Okay, so that's delete me function is not pretty simple. If you go over here, delete me function, so this is something like this. Okay, so you need to map the nodes, and inside that node you need to make sure that underneath of that it should be removed, like this child element also should be removed. So I have created some object structure, so like inside that you're going to be having parent and child relations as well. So if you don't have, so you're going to be having problem with that. So like it checks all the time, like when you reload the page, and if you have pre-saved data and then coming back on the screen, so that time you can have the hard time to figure out the issue. So that's for reducing that issue, I just added this some, let me show you the data structure. So you see I added this child and parent kind of thing. So whenever you create any node, so it's going to have two values already predefined into this one. So child and parent, what is child is connected, like when you create another new node, so the child going to be added inside that, and parent you're going to be already having if you have existing parent connection. Okay, so something like that. So if if you see the delete me function here, what I'm doing, I'm mapping this nodes all by through, and I'm checking the connection first. So in the target ID, because whenever I just remove this connection, so make sure into this one, your child element should be removed as well. Like the child element ID should be removed from here as well. Okay, so when you remove the connection, I'm mapping it through, and I'm checking if there is child elements, like number of child IDs are like more than one, then it should go into this one, and I just filter it out like which child ID is coming. So that gonna filter it out, and rest gonna be as it is. If there is only one item exists, so just I'm keeping it empty, so it should be properly removed. Okay, so rest of the connection gonna be existing as it is, and only the things gonna be removed which we are removing from the scheme. Okay, so that's kind of thing. So this is the TG nodes, like target nodes or something, and then we are passing it. This code I have commented out just because I'm having some issues into that, so that's we're gonna be discussing in the later videos. Okay, so let's move to the another part, change connection. The connection, you have to remove this connection when you click on the line. So just I'm just finding the index, a simple code, find the index value of that connection from there and just remove it, like splice it, and after that handle set when nodes and connection. This is the another function over here, just simple like function over here, handle set connection node over here, and then you can set the connections and then set the nodes, and this flag for updating the state, like if your state doesn't get updated immediately. Okay, so that's kind of thing the delete me function does for this label only. Okay, now let's move to the add one. So when you click on the add button, you should add new element into the screen. Okay, so how it works, like over here, you see the add node I have passed, like I have already passing over here, and if you go into the draggable box, there is already one function, the add node over here coming. Okay, so you see handle click node. So whenever you click on any node, so it's going to be passing into this function, and it will check over here, like if your shape type is end node. These every node has defined type, so these nodes are simple type and this node is end node. Okay, so this end node doesn't gonna be having any kind of like drag and drop connection thing, so you cannot drag a line from here and drop it somewhere, so create the connections. Like I have already made it hidden, so it's not going to be appearing for this one. And also it is an add new node function only going to be passing when you click on this node, not the other nodes. Okay, so when you click on that one, it comes over here into the index.js, and you click on this, it comes over here. Okay, so what I'm doing first, I'm just getting the element like end node ID, so I'm just trying to find this element ID. Okay, and after that I'm just get this position of that node, like where does it exist. Okay, so getting the position, the one job is done, we have the position. So and after that we need to find the node, so I'm just finding the node over here, and now I have just predefined object, like whenever I click on this, so it will generate one ID and the simple, and rest of the data gonna be same, and also the end node ID, like this node should come underneath of new node now. Okay, it should not come underneath of this one, it should come underneath of new node. So we have to just change some IDs and just place some things like from here to there, like that. So I'm just creating the new ID for this, and name simple situations gonna be having child and parent relation into this one, just end node dot ID. So I'm just changing the node ID from here to here, like into the new element, so it will go over here. And the parent situation dot parent, so parent gonna be same as it is, like whatever the parent end node was having earlier, so same kind of thing gonna be added into this one. Okay, after that, and the position X and Y which is coming from here, so this node position we're gonna be replacing with the new node position. Okay, and we have changed the position for this end node. Okay, so that we are doing over here. So we are mapping all the nodes and checking the end node ID, and over here end node ID we are checking the parent. So the parent gonna be changed for this node, so this gonna be new node, so I'm just adding add node dot ID, and after that I'm just changing the Y position of this one, because X position is already good because it all has to come into the single line, so that's fine. But only Y position need to change because it has to move through the two step down at the bottom. So I'm just doing position dot Y, which is already predefined position for this one. And after that you just need to multiply of node height, so whatever the node height is, just multiply by 2, so it will move 2 step down. Okay, and after that you just return the item, so your node gonna be set over here. And after that, same for the connections, you need to create one extra connections over here, and also change the source ID for that connection, so which is already predefined connection for this one. So I'm just changing the source ID for this one over here, so the new node source ID gonna be added, and new one connection also more has to be added over here, which is like the new element that is gonna be one source ID, and this is the target ID, so that I'm adding over here. Okay, so this is how kind of like I'm just replacing the things, and then it's gonna be added. So whenever we click on this function get fired, and this it sets the position for each and every node, and just three elements get impacted at the time, like 1 2 this edge and the 3. So and new node also comes into the picture, so 4 elements get impacted whenever you click on the add node. And after that also like new node get added, so if I click on this one, so you see the new element get added over here immediately. So that's the feature, it's working. And new feature what I want to show you guys, like I think this is done, like for deletion part and this adding new node. I have done one more implementation over here if I show you guys. So if you see, I'm just setting all all the things into my local storage over here, okay, like this. And also if you see my get layout thing, get layout, this one element, so I'm not calling directly this function over here, I'm just putting into the use effect. So whenever this component mount Xarrow component, so first time it's just gonna be executing this script over here, like it's gonna be calling this function and just setting the nodes layout and layout edges. After that it doesn't gonna do anything. Okay, so I'm getting the node. So if you see this, I'm getting nodes and edges. First I'm checking into the local storage. If it's already exists over there, so it should get set. Otherwise it should take the data which I have set it over here into this file. Okay, so it's going over here, and after that like into this function, and after that in function I have added this one extra implementation over here, and after that rest of the other layouting thing is working like we implemented in the last video. Okay, so what I have done over here, I'm just reducing it first. Okay, after that I'm checking end node. If let's suppose I remove the connection from here, I remove the connection from here, so there is no end node is connected to each other. Okay, so all those gonna be empty. Okay, and now whenever I remove the connections or whenever I add a new node, all the time it fires a function that is saving the local storage, updating the local storage. So there's no new node gonna be. Okay, so these are independent, they're not related. But if you go over here, so what I'm doing, I'm checking into the length, like if there is element which is totally ended, like there is no any flow after that, and it doesn't have any child element inside of it. Okay, so what it's gonna do, it's gonna append the end node into it. Okay, so that's kind of feature over here. So I'm checking like if any element which, like first I'm mapping it and checking if chid, like it doesn't have any child element inside of it, so it's gonna create one add node, and after that it's gonna be taking the position and first add the child inside of it, and after that create new connection for it, and then first item will be pushed, and after that node gonna be pushed, that like the end node gonna be pushed inside of that. Okay, and if like it's already having the child and there is end node is connected, so it doesn't have to go through with that. By default it's gonna be taking like this. Okay, so that's kind of thing. By default it's gonna be pushed into the item, and then it's gonna be mapped as it is over here, and after that rest of the thing as it is, it goes into this function like new dot for each, and it's gonna set the positions, and after that same for the edges goes inside this, and that layout function gets start executing, get the position for each and every node, and then it's gonna be looking like this. It's gonna return the data. So this was the main thing. And now let's suppose I have removed this one. Okay, all those things I have removed over here. Now I'm gonna be reloading the page. You see what's happened. So you see my flow has already added by default add nodes over here into these elements. Okay, so once I removed it, okay, and these are the nodes are like independent nodes which we left it last time, because these are not removed from the data. I did not filtered it out from the state, so that's why these are coming back from the local storage. But that's the one issue over here. But whenever we just click on this node, so this should be removed from here. So that's the issue right now. So I'm fixing, but rest of the other things are working. So whenever we click on this should be removed. If this is the kind of end node, so after clicking on the delete connection, it should be removed from there. It should not be on the screen. So but right now it's not getting removed, it's just removing the connection from here. So that's the thing. Once we click on this one, so we can have the connection over here. Same for this one, we can have the connection over here. Even if I go over here and make the connection from here to here like this, and if I connect this element from here to here, okay, now you see what happens. So all gonna be connected to each other. See, if I get it over here, so you see new add connected because I clicked on that, and now I connect this one to somewhere like this one. Okay, so if I reload this page, so you see all are interconnected to each other, and also all are coming in the elegant way over here like this. So this is kind of very cool now, and all those functionality which are required majorly, so all those things are done. Now the basic thing like normal issues and basic things which are required, so we can add it, and also we can enhance the UI of it. So all those things we can do that, and also we're gonna be doing this into the upcoming videos. But I think this is kind of like major everyone look for, and everyone try to implement those by themselves. So this is I think done, and also you guys can, if you want to use this code implement somewhere, so I would be happy. There are some issues into this one, but I think those are not big issues, those are fixable, so we can fix it. But apart from that, everything is fine, everything is looking good. And this code I will push on the GitHub, so you guys can clone that code. And if you're not able to run this code, so I have added the commands, like I have added all those things over here, so you have to just run it one by one in your terminal. If you're using the Mac, I'm not sure about the Windows, so you can just comment down if you're having some issues in the Windows, so you can let me know. I can figure it out and I'll let you know how you can fix it. Okay, but in the Mac I'm running right now, so in Mac you can run it easily. Okay, so thank you so much guys, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Till then, take care, bye bye.